Hey everyone, I'm Christine George, and welcome to the No Like Trust for Real Estate podcast, where I help you craft branding and marketing strategies that align with your unique strengths and your values, as you'll find out in this upcoming episode. Agents who work with me grow their business on average by 40% by aligning their marketing with who they are, not what they sell. And today's episode is a huge example of that. Today, I'm joined by Ruth Gramza. She is an agent with Bricks Real Estate in Minneapolis, Minnesota. She has been in the business for 4 years. Her goal is to get more listings. And let me tell you, her biggest marketing challenge is how to create her value proposition. And today, we did just that. What a beautiful example of aligning your business with your values. Take a listen and let me know what you think. So, Ruth, I'm super excited to just get into this with you. I'm so excited to understand more about your business, more about your market, and what you're challenged with right now. So, without further ado, tell me what your biggest marketing challenge is right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me. My biggest marketing challenge is my value proposition and basically how to sell myself. From the Midwest, I'm in Minnesota. It's very difficult to say anything good about myself.
My God.
I mean, not to necessarily put myself down, but it's just very difficult to, to me, that's what real estate is. I feel like anyone can sell a house, help someone buy a house or sell a house. You can learn the ways to do that. So the selling part for me is me selling me. And it's just so counter to just have a casual conversation without being like, okay, we're sitting down for an appointment and now I will tell you what I can do for you, versus working it into like a casual conversation or onto social media in a way that's like feels natural. Toot my own horn a little without being extra.
First of all, I want you to be extra. I want you to be all the things that make you special and unique. I am a true believer that, just like you said, you're not selling houses, you're selling yourself. But just by virtue of saying, I have to go out there and sell myself, it just feels icky, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
It feels icky.
It does. It feels, coaching, and I'm not in coaching now, but I have been, and or just being with people who have lots of tips for you. It's like, work it into every conversation. You're at church, you're at the, getting your hair cut, you're at the grocery store, work it in. And I have not, I have tried it, but it's so awkward. I'm like, anyway, here's my card. And then I run away.
And you run away. It's like when you're like a kid in middle school and you have a crush on somebody and you back in the day, you slipped them your phone number and then you ran away, right? Like I totally understand that feeling. And I think in this day and age, we can flip the script a little bit. It's not about selling yourself, but it's more about making that authentic connection with your dream client just by being who you are, right? Being unapologetic about who you are. Like when we were in the green room, I'm totally getting sidebarred right now, but when we were in the green room and you told me your goal is to get 2 more listings, and in that process of talking to me about that, you had your cats and you heard my dog barking, and it's like, this is real life. I mean, these are the things that happen, and these are the things that make us who we are, right? Our dogs, our cats, our families, whatever. I just wanted to share that because 1, I completely understand what you're saying. And 2, I don't want you to put yourself down because you have a lot to offer. And just by virtue of who you are. And that's what that's what I really want to get into with you. I think you're on the right track when you are telling me, I want to get more listings, but I don't really understand what my value proposition is. And so you're like a step ahead of many agents, because many agents don't even really know that word or what the definition of that word is, or certainly how to discover what it is for you. So one of the questions I want to ask you is, part of your value proposition is talking about how you deliver on your promise. So I'm going to start by asking you, what is it that you believe makes you different from your competitors in your market?
I struggle. I would say I follow through. I am very attentive. I don't stop trying to solve problems if there's a problem. I'm also a great herder of cats. I feel like that's probably one of the biggest, most valuable thing is from my background. It was just what I had to do. So I will, I have no problem actually picking up the phone. Like I'm an ex-ennial, so I'm like in that middle place.
Yeah.
But I still prefer not calling, but I will. I'll call the title company. I'll call the lender. I'll call the other title company. I'll call the agent. I'll call, whoever to make sure that everything gets done versus a sit and wait approach. I've worked in transactions where it felt like that was how the other side was working.
Yep.
But as you can see, I really don't have a way to articulate that briefly.
No, but you just said it. I love, I'm writing this down. So you're a great herder of cats. I mean, you don't have a sit and wait approach. I mean, I've never heard an agent say that. Never. In the 17 years I've been working with agents, I've never heard an agent say it like that. And one of the biggest pain points, I think we all have this. Think about your experience, calling your insurance company or calling, your doctor or, your cell phone provider. It's a sit and wait approach. It's a sit and wait experience, right? You're on the phone, you're going through this automated menu and you're sitting and waiting. And a lot of the times you're having to explain yourself numerous times before you can get the right person on the phone to give you the right answer. That is probably one of the biggest pain points we all have. And so when you tell me that you're not afraid to call the title company or the lawyer or the inspector or the painter, I'm just making these words, and now I'm putting words in your mouth. Any of the people the mortgage person, like any of the people that are involved in the transaction, instead of waiting for them to call you, that to me is a huge value. Can you give me an example of a time when you actually had to herd cats for a client? Literally.
Yes. Yes. I absolutely can. One of my listings, it was, oh my gosh, I'm going to say this. It was a catastrophe because a couple of days before closing, one of the things the seller said they would do is do some, fix some minor items. And the handyman, and it's a condo, it's a top floor, third floor condo. And the handyman knocked something funny and the tub just was spraying water, not into the tub. It was just like spraying. I wasn't there. And the other agent was there and she called me. And there was no way to turn off the water. In the condo, it's like there's a centralized water turn off. And they had to call the building person to come and turn it off. It took an hour. So it flooded down to the bottom two places as well as this place. Yeah.
And this was your seller?
This was my seller.
Oh my God.
So it was a huge panic, obviously. And anyway, from there, it was like, how do I keep the deal together? How do I fix this? How do I make everybody whole? My seller was amazing. They totally understood. It was just a snafu. I mean, it was a snafu and now it's insurance. And so I was in contact with the insurance. I was in contact with the condo association to figure out costs and timelines for getting everything fixed. And also with the other agent and with the lender of the buyer. I don't remember everybody involved, but it was, and so that happened on a Tuesday and we closed on Friday. Yeah.
That close? Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Because apparently, because it happened, to dry out water, there's like these big industrial things that come in and can suck all the water out of whatever. So it really got fixed super quickly, and the water wasn't there long enough to cause like mold or rot or whatever.
Yeah.
But all my seller did was tell their insurance company, and I did everything else.
That's unbelievable. That is a story that needs to be told, and I think you should title it "The Catastrophe of All Catastrophes." No,
That's pretty good.
Yeah, like that. Those are all your words. I didn't use any of those words. Like those are your words. You're a great storyteller. And for those of you who are not watching this on YouTube and you're listening to it on your favorite podcast channel, Ruth's cat. Benson? Is that his name, Benson? He's walking back and forth as she's talking about this catastrophe. So that's beautiful. So I love that. Your follow through, that shows your attention to detail. I love when you told me you never give up on solving a problem and you're a great herder of cats. You know how to get it done. Do you have, I would imagine you have at least 3 or 4 other stories like this where you have, and maybe they're not all at this level, but they're stories where you have had to coordinate and corral all the different pieces of the pie to make sure the deal closed. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. And so the question that I have for us is, okay, how do we actually take that and create your brand story or your social media content strategy around that, your listing presentation? Like this is all part of your value proposition, right? So let's go back to the value proposition. So the other piece of the value proposition is to understand who your clients are and what their pain points are, right? And so I think you've pretty much defined that within that single story. So verbalize that. Tell me, who is your dream client and what are their pain points?
So my dream client is, I feel like I really can jive with downsizers. I was raised by my grandparents, so I just sort of have a natural rapport with, not that I'm that much younger than them anymore, but, I totally understand because I've seen it more than once. The downsizing isn't just the selling of the home. Often there's like the 2-3 generations of belongings in the attic and the garage and the basement. There's a lot of emotions and it's overwhelming and hard to start. And then a lot of people can just get stuck and frozen. I have it on my goal list to make some partnerships because we have a lot of really good estate sale companies here, small, to offer services like how do you get started, where to start, how to muddle through all of the muddling through parts that aren't just the like fun staging. That's part of it, of course, but you got long ways to go if you've been the center of the family for 30 years in that home before you're staging.
Oh, 100%. Lots of decluttering, lots of negotiating what happens with all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And that's, depending on the family dynamic, can be really dodgy as well. So supporting clients in at least giving them permission that you get to decide what you do. It's hard for the kids or whoever. And that's something that is going to come with this. You still can do what you think is best for you.
Okay. So I love this so much. So your dream client are sellers who are downsizing their primary home, who are overwhelmed by the process because they've lived in the home for a number of years and they've collected a lot of memories, treasures. Your promise is what? So now we're sort of getting to the formula of the value proposition. And let's take a step back. So the formula for the value proposition is, if you want to even write, I don't know if you have a pen.
I do.
Okay. Don't write on the cat.
Okay.
So the formula is this. So it's 4, and then you plug in your ideal customer. So in your case, it's 4 sellers who are downsizing their primary home, let's say. We can massage that for sure. I deliver. So that's where you're going to plug in what your promise is. The next piece of that is to show how you differentiate from your competition. So unlike the competition, who? And so let's think about how your brand is different, right? And we talked a little bit about that already. Because, the last piece is because. And in there, you want to plug in how you deliver on your promise. For sellers who are downsizers, we deliver. So let's talk a little bit more about your promise. Tell me more about that. Like when you think about your promise to your sellers who are downsizers, what comes to mind?
My promise is to have a plan. So it would be not a one-size-fits-all, but it would have all the tools for anyone who is downsizing. And then you kind of cherry pick what's necessary in this case. I have a plan that, if you need to downsize, I have partners who specialize in, doing the work of clearing out a house, as well as doing the donations, the throwaway, or even a sale, like an estate sale. I have stagers who know how to stage using your own stuff. So you don't have to worry about extra investment more than necessary. I am supportive myself through the process, available for questions and support when you need it. I understand that it's complicated.
So all that is really good. So I really want to bring in this part about herding cats.
Okay.
Right. So maybe it's, I create a plan that's tailored to your specific needs. And then the next piece, unlike the competition, who? Maybe that's where we start to bring in, the competition. Maybe the competition has a sit and wait approach. Maybe the competition hands you a list of vendors and waits for you to get the home ready. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I create a plan that's tailored to your specific needs. And unlike the competition, who will hand you a list of vendors and have you call them and coordinate all of the things that need to happen to get the home ready for sale, I ensure that the process is executed flawlessly with my attention to detail and a coordination of everything that needs to get done. That's just a really rough, we need to massage that. But I think that is your thing. Your thing is that you are not afraid to pick up the phone and get all the pieces coordinated so that everything falls into place. Where somebody else might just tell the seller that this is what they need to do. You're the one who's rolling up your sleeves and getting into the arena and making sure that it all happens. And you have the resources, the vendors, the contacts to make sure it all gets done. Are you tracking with me? Are you feeling it?
I am.
I'm feeling
it. I am. I get stuck at the point though of going, but how do you say that succinctly and in a tagline? And
you don't need a tagline
so
right now.
that's where you come in. Okay.
Yeah, you don't need a tagline right now. But what I'm envisioning for you is, and I will write this up and send it to you afterwards. But we're going to put it into ChatGPT and have ChatGPT polish it a little bit. And then what I see you doing is actually creating a visual. Do you have a listing presentation that you use?
I don't. There is one that I reference, but I'm allergic to boilerplate stuff.
I saw that in your in your application.
I really, the picture of the hand handing keys to the, yes. I don't care for it. I have been trying to make one myself. I'm obsessed with Canva. I can lose hours and hours and hours on Canva. Yeah. So that's a separate issue. But anyway, so I have an outline that I follow that I would like to solidify more with these things we're discussing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And so if we take that value proposition and then from that, we can create a listing presentation that actually shows how you deliver on that, who you are, what your promise is, how you deliver. We can do that visually through a listing presentation by showing them exactly what you do and who you bring in to help in the process. You can do it by asking them certain questions that help get you to a place. You can do it also by, creating a roadmap within your listing presentation to show them the different pieces. There's lots of ways that we can make this value proposition actually come to life in a listing presentation. And I think that listing presentation is sort of your centerpiece, because once you have that, and I do this all the time with presentations that I put together, then all of a sudden you have, like Katie always says, right? Like something you can repurpose. So you can take little pieces, like whether it's one slide or, one action point, and you can create a whole story around that for social media or for your email campaign. I think the first step is to let's polish this value prop. But I think what your value, like I'm like fired up about it. I just, again, like I think not having that sit and wait approach and making sure all the pieces are coming together of the puzzle without the seller having to worry about that. Especially think about a downsizer, somebody who hasn't been in the real estate transaction space for 30 years. It's totally different than it was 30 years ago. And so you're taking that stress off of their plate.
And many of them are widows or maybe divorced, but didn't do this alone before. So I hear this phrase a lot though. It's stress-free with me, or so how, like exactly what you're saying, like it's stress-free with me because I do XYZ, and having like a way to explain that is succinct and maybe evokes a little emotion of feeling at ease after you hear it.
Exactly. Like you're tapping into their emotion, because I stay with you every step of the way. I make sure that all of the pieces come together seamlessly so that we have a transaction that's as stress-free as possible. Like to know that you're going to stay with them, that you're going to handle the details, that you're going to keep them informed, and that you're not. So
communication is a big part of it. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right. No, that's good. That's good. So I think
touch base, have a plan of like communication. You can expect an email from me at this frequency.
Yes. Yes. That is like such a simple thing. No agent does that. I mean, not no agent, but a lot of agents, most agents don't do that. They don't say, I'm going to communicate with you, weekly, daily, at this point of the transaction, once we have an accepted offer, I'm going to communicate with you on a daily basis, or whatever it might be. Like, that, and you're communicating those expectations to them. It gives them peace of mind. That's what your value proposition is, for sure. For sellers who are downsizing, I help you navigate a complex and often emotional process. Unlike the competition, who basically treats it like treats your home like a transaction. Here's how I'm going to deliver on the promise. I'm going to stay with you every step of the way. I'm going to communicate with you on a regular basis. I'm going to ensure that your home is ready for the market. And then you dig down as to what all that means, all the different pieces that means.
I'm like, there's two things about it that it's like I'm pitching myself to myself. Like, why would I want to work with me? And communication is always really big. I have, in my past lives, worked in jobs where you don't have a job if you don't respond within, no joke, 5 to 10 minutes. Like maybe you don't know how to respond, but you say, I received this, I'm looking into it, I'll get back to you in this amount of time. And then when that amount of time passes, if you still don't have the answer, or you do, regardless, you respond again. I'm still looking into this, or here's what I found. And I personally have not experienced that with a lot of other people. And then the other thing is, I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I have ADHD and I'm a late diagnosed person.
Okay.
And it makes a lot of sense for me because I do really well with company. And it's got this term body doubling. Maybe you've heard of it. Like it's
wait. With company,
yes?
What do you mean company?
Company, like literally, like come and keep me company
Oh.
while I do my task. And even if they're not doing my task with me, I am more anyway. So
it's like parallel play.
Yes, totally. And I think if for people who are overwhelmed with the list of downsizing, feeling like there's a partner there can be such a comfort. Because otherwise you're like, oh, I'm going to start this. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to lead. And then I'll end up with a big mess on my own.
Yes.
And that can be very, you stop before you start.
And that is not about selling yourself. Those are your values right there. That is what you believe in. Parallel play, having company, a partner when you're going through something that's rough.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, right? Like,
and also sort of like this is, I don't know how I would put this, but like a disinterested third party, meaning like, the kids, the whoever in the family, it's a hard time. So I don't have those attachments. So my perspective comes from a different place. Not to say it's right or wrong, or they're right or wrong, but just it's nice to have that perspective when you're making big decisions.
Yeah, that third party neutral space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Disinterested sounds mean, but third party sounds better.
Yeah. Neutral. Yeah.
Neutral.
Yeah. Advisor. Trusted advisor. Yeah.
Yeah. And because that was another thing I wanted to work into my pitch somehow, or it doesn't sound like you call it a pitch, but to really focus on the fact that I'm a fiduciary. I'm not a shyster. I'm not there to like con you out of your money and, run to the next town. My duty, as soon as we're signed up together, is to protect your transaction from beginning to end. So, and in a way that is best for you, not me or anyone else, just you.
Yes. And I can tell you, not a lot of agents talk about that in their listing presentations. So even if you don't sit side by side with a potential seller and go through it page by page, you can use it as a leave behind so that when you're having the conversation, then they can go back and they can see everything in writing, essentially, that you are a fiduciary, that you will be a partner in this. That you're going to ensure that the transaction closes with you by their side, communicating all the way through. And I would, again, like put a timeline in there that shows like all the different steps that can happen, that are going to happen, and how you're going to communicate and navigate, some of the unknowns along the way.
Because also I'm a visual person, seeing.
Yeah.
I love lists.
Yeah, me too.
And so I feel so I can make it so you can take it in as you feel like that you can. You don't just have to read the novel and then remember it. It's
exactly. And
it's there
for you
reference.
Who's visual, to have that to always be able to go back to as well and remind yourself like this is the partnership that I'm creating between me and my clients, and be able to talk about the different pieces of it along the way in social media, on podcasts, on in interviews that you do with other clients. And then what's going to happen, Ruth, is that then you're going to start building this reputation, not for the, slimy real estate agent who's just trying to make the transaction happen, but for the person who just really came in and supported you in this transition. And to become known for that, you never have to sell yourself again. People will start to just come to you because they know they're going to be able to trust you. And like I said earlier, you just have that natural trusting face about you too. You just have this approachable, like, she's going to take care of me look about you. So you have that going for you too.
That's good. I mean, and that is the dream, to not have to, or not feel like, I don't have to sell them. I don't have to do any of it, but I'm unsure how to attract business otherwise. So this idea of building a reputation and being able to talk about it in a way that is comfortable for everybody in the conversation and nothing's forced.
Yes.
It just feels like a pipe dream sometimes. And so then like us having this conversation, it feels more like, okay, this is actually a thing that can happen.
Yeah. Because it's aligned, right? It's who you are. It's not like trying to be Susie salesperson, you're...
Yes.
Yeah.
I have, because another way that I don't necessarily fit is, in sales, there's a big, I don't know if this is a good or bad term, but just like real estate bros, like we're going to kill it and we're going to crush it and we're going to, wake up and kick ass and then I'm just, like that is just too intense and aggressive. I don't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
And so anyway, it can be tough to find allies in the industry. I have a lot of allies in the industry, but in terms of how can we motivate each other? I don't really know a lot of folks like myself that are really looking for this type of business.
Yes. Again, and it's another thing that makes you different and more approachable. How do you feel?
It feels good. It does feel good to feel like you can be authentic and run a business.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the only way. I swear to God, it's the only way. It's the only way I know how to be.
And I was in the corporate world for 17 years. There was no space for that.
Sister, I was in the corporate world for 16 years before real estate, and I understand.
Yeah. So it's like, I can do and be who I am, do the things that I want to do that align with what I believe in.
Yes.
So that I feel like is a gift. So learning how to actually execute on it, though, has been the challenge. So this feels like I have a direction on what to actually do.
Awesome. All right. Well, you and I have a conversation offline. And I want to thank you so much for being part of the show today. It was really, really great having you on.
Thank you for having me. This has been very eye-opening, and I've loved every minute of it.
Me too. Thanks so much for listening to the show. Make sure to click the follow-up button on your podcast app to make sure you never miss another episode. And sign up for my newsletter, The Sunbeam. Go to postandbeamcreative.com and sign up. If you're listening and thinking, I could really use Christine's help, go to coachingwithchristinegeorge.com and sign up and apply to be on the show. I would love to connect with you. I'm Christine George, and you've been listening to Know Like Trust for Real Estate.